Let's bring in Jenny Horne, markets correspondent, co-host of NextGen, to take a closer look at Intel. Intel's been fluctuating this morning in the pre-market after news of a joint venture. Tell us the details here, Jenny.
Interesting, with Taiwan Semiconductor reportedly set to acquire now 20% or 20% stake in what could be this new joint venture with Intel aimed at addressing, of course, Intel's right now ongoing struggles, including the fact that it posted nearly $19 billion in losses in fiscal 2024. So we did see that they reached this preliminary agreement. This was according to reports we first saw from the information, now being pretty widely reported. But with Taiwan Semiconductor being the world's largest contract chip maker, to have now 20% in a new venture, I think this is a pretty substantial deal, because especially the deal comes amid pressure from these various U.S. government officials, of course, including the White House and the Commerce Department, who have pushed back on companies that have pushed companies, to resolve Intel's ongoing manufacturing and customer service challenges. Intel has, of course, struggled to manufacture its chips for its external clients, which has led to delays as well as some failed confidence going forward. Earlier this year, they did appoint a chip veteran to the helm of their company, and also did continue to say they're spearheading a lot of their challenges that they face. And they've been active in the U.S. with plans for overall, other than that, Taiwan is also investing about $100 billion in these chip facilities in the U.S. over the coming years. But Intel's new CEO has been pretty candid about their challenges. He has also been pretty outspokenly against their prior CEO. So it's been seen that he was in favor of this stake, this joint venture, which we obviously are now seeing come true. Previously, we had heard reports of a joint venture. NVIDIA had been thrown into the mix, as well as AMD and Broadcom. But right now, what we know is the expansion in the U.S. for Taiwan has still raised some regulatory concerns about right now what that looks like for the remainder of its business. But I think it's always interesting. Taiwan Semiconductor drives almost 70% of its revenue from the U.S. So it's one of the most ill-named companies because you'd think it'd have more foreign exposure than perhaps it does. But of these two companies, Intel has been our standout in tech this year, as it's still, even with the overall pressure, at least as of Thursday's close, up about 13% on the year.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like this news is actually helping move the needle, especially when you think of kind of the broad market sell-off mode, risk-off mode, I should say, that we're seeing in the pre-market. All right, Jenny, thanks a ton for the breakdown with the latest on Intel shares down 5% in the pre-market despite news of this joint venture with Taiwan Semiconductor.